Did you know that the average age a boy finds out about and is exposed to pornography for the first time is around 10 to 13 years old? 10 years old. 10 to 13 years old. Some even younger, 8, 9, 7. There are boys that are learning their times tables that watch this every single day. Is that not the most disturbing thing? The most explicit sexual act possible. In literally the most strange and weirdly optimized, because think about it, these sites, they're like YouTube, but for adult content. And so you'll get people doing wild, crazy things, having the craziest titles, and getting people hooked on very, very strange, horrible things ever since you are a little kid, when your brain is forming, when your balls haven't even dropped, bro. We don't understand the implications of this, of how this really affected us. I figured out about pornography when I was, I think, end of 6th grade, start of 7th grade, maybe around 13 years old, right when I turned 13, I believe. I specifically remember how disgusted I was when I was looking at it, but I couldn't look away. I couldn't look away. And from that moment, you have no chance. You're just addicted. You don't have a chance, even though you know, yes, something might be wrong with this. Like, something doesn't feel right here. You can't help yourself. You can't stop. You didn't have a chance. We were not given a chance. I remember hearing whispers about this when I was in like 7th grade. And people would say things in 6th grade as well, and I kind of was knowing this type of thing was out there. And people were talking about it a little bit and watching it and discovering it. I would say that most young boys by the time of 6th grade, maybe 7th grade, have either heard about it or seen it or been showed it by someone else. That is extremely disturbing. And nobody talks about this. No one talks about it. The only place you'll see is people online that have been through it. That's it. No news talks about it. No broadcasts, no publications talk about it. It is so taboo. And this is a big part of the problem, is you can't speak about it to anyone. Can you talk about this to your parents? Hell no. They're going to destroy you. They're going to be so angry. But that's the thing. If you can't be open and you can't talk about this, and this is so taboo, and in society, if you're not allowed to say anything about it, you have to fight it alone. It is your secret battles, your lustful battle. You have to hide it like it's, hidden inside Fort Knox. No one is getting the secret, bro. You're making sure that no one knows. Because if they did, that would be the most embarrassing, horrible thing to happen, them figuring out, right? If your parents walked in on you or something like that, that would be the most dreadful thing that you could think of. And so you stay silent. You never talk about this to anyone. The only time that I ever talked about it was at those late night conversations where you're getting real with your boys. That's it. And you're like, man, you talk about how you're struggling with it, or that it's not good for you. But I think it's become so normalized now, and so some people think that it's a good thing. If you're watching this video and you think, oh, it's not that bad, gooning's get off this video, click off this video, it's not for you. Gooning, I believe, I have so much to say about it. I think it is the worst, and this porn addiction epidemic, it is the worst thing to happen to young men. The worst thing. I truly, firmly believe that. The big three is the absolute slop junk food and fast food that we eat every single day, and scrolling and pornography. And I think porn is number one. I truly don't think we understand the effects of this. I don't think we do. Later down the line, we don't know how it's rewired our brain. It has, it's rewired your brain to lust. Everything is sexualized now, and I want to talk about this. Why is everything goonified? Every single platform, I swear they're doing it on purpose. They feed you this stuff that you're like, why am I seeing this? These girls are shaking ass, and you're seeing super explicit, basically softcore porn stuff on every single site you're going on, and you're getting ads, really weird ads. It's what is happening? What is happening? Why is this allowed? Why is this accepted? Why is this tolerated? And why does nobody know? Why do parents not know? Part of it, obviously, is because we never talk about it because it's so taboo, and because the news, they never talk about it either. So our parents, what do they think the dangers are? I remember when they told me I started playing video games when I was pretty young, and they told me, Maxwell, you got to understand, okay? The real danger's here. You can't let these weird people on the video games talk to you and become your friend and all that. There are weird people out there, Max. Was that the problem? No. The most dangerous problem was one that they never could have anticipated, which was me literally watching other people online go at it when I am at literally middle school, like beginning middle school. They couldn't even fathom this was a possibility. They knew these weird... Max, are you watching any weird things? No, Mom, I'm not. Deep down in the back of my mind, I know I'm watching weird things. I know I'm watching shit I shouldn't. I know it's horrible for me. And yet I just keep doing it. This is a huge part of the problem. Is no one knows. No one talks about it. Parents don't know. And so whenever you give a kid, and we all know this, when a kid is given full access to the internet, you are going to stumble across pornography sooner or later, 100% guaranteed without fail. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on like YouTube Kids or whatever. Have you seen the ads that are on YouTube sometimes? With like these AI, like big titty, it's insane. Of literally kids' characters. And this is a whole nother topic I want to talk about. And you might call me crazy here, but I genuinely believe this as well. I believe pornography is purposely infused and targeted towards kids on social media, on the apps that they use, through ads on all the sites that they go on these kids' sites. I'm serious. You see it happen. I mean, on YouTube, you'll see those weird like dating ones, and you'll see, I've seen them before. It's like with K-pop demon hunters or with, it's super sexualized, goonified versions of these characters. It's absolutely disturbing. And these characters, right, these little kids, they like them. And so they connect with these characters. So they're going to click on this stuff and they're going to get addicted because it's being directly advertised to what they like and what they want. They like these shows, and so they advertise these like characters from these kids shows in a very sexualized, weird way. It goes further and deeper than I think we imagine. This industry is humongous. And there is so much money to be made because why would they do this, right? Why would they hook kids on porn? This is a horrible thing to do. A absolute despicable, evil thing to do. It's because kids are the most profitable. When you get them addicted, they will watch so much. They will become absolute gooners. Watching it like hours and hours as they get older. And just the amount of time, think about the money and the ads and everything that they make on these websites. And think about with these OnlyFans girls, when they grow up sort of thinking, because a little kid can't understand that this girl, they don't know them. They think they're like messaging them and all this. They think they're in real relationships. They think like these girls know them. Your brain is not, I get so fired up about this because you're getting hooked at a time when your brain isn't fully developed. You don't know what you're getting into. You had no chance. You had no chance. When you saw that, it was just immediately over for you. You couldn't have the discipline or willpower because that's the time when all these hormones are going through your body and you don't understand what's going on. And so you start feeling these things and you get deep into these just horrible content. It's horrible stuff. And it gets really weird. And I think this is another topic I really want to touch on. I think it does weird things to you that I really don't. I don't want to go too deep into this rabbit hole here, but I think it does things to people that it changes people. Like you see guys that you know are gooners, and it just changes something about them. Like when you watch things that are so weird and so explicitly disturbing and disgusting, and you are constantly living in lust. You can tell with these gooners, man, it does something to your brain. I think it changes something in you. And I think it makes, I don't want to say too much, but I think it makes you think and get interested in some very, very weird, horrible things. And that might be completely wrong and completely out there, but I do think that is a huge possibility. Because, bro, you can tell you can tell those gooner eyes, bro. You can see it. But getting back to what I was talking about, I think it is marketed towards children. I honestly do. On the social media, on all these websites with the ads, you've seen it when you were a kid. The really weird ads, like you go on like Akinator or something, or like any sort of website like Slither.io, and you'd be like, what the hell is this? Like, what am I looking at? What does this pop up? It is the most profitable to get them young, to get you hooked young. And you're gonna think you're in these relationships, these young boys, they think with these OnlyFans girls, and that's a whole other thing that's also a part of this, the OnlyFans sort of epidemic as well. The bop house, these girls, all these literal houses, content houses with girls looking up to them as if they are someone to look up to, and boys getting addicted thinking they're in relationships with them. They literally are on, what app are they on? They're on TikTok. What is the demographic for most of the people using TikTok? Little kids and teenagers. Let's be honest, that's what most people that are using TikTok for the longest amount of time, it's little kids. And so they are targeting and posting on and dressing up as characters that these little kids are going to connect to so that they can go to their adult content, go to their link in their bio, and get addicted. And start paying them money for their monthly subscription on OnlyFans. It is disgusting, and it is horrible, it is deplorable, it is evil. And I think it is the most silent but deadly force that we are facing in the modern day. And again, you might be saying, oh, Max, it's not that serious. It really isn't that serious, Max. It is that serious. This is that serious. I think it really has done irreparable things to our society. Stuff that I don't even know. And this is what I finally want to say. I don't think we know the true effects of it. I really don't think so. But you can tell what the lust has done to young men. Everything is goonified now. You can tell that they are pushing it down our throats. They are trying to get everyone addicted. All these young men, teenagers, little boys addicted. And we have, since a young age, just been exposed to this, and we just addicted, watching it every day. And it is such a massive struggle. This is what they want. And I don't think we understand what it's truly done to us, this lust. And the hours and hours and hours and hours of looking at, just think about it, think about how unnatural and insane this is. I don't know if you guys know Mansa Musa, but he was the richest man that ever lived. He was had like an African empire, basically. And he had so much gold that he would cause inflation in all the places that he traveled to, just handing out gold. This guy was that rich. That man that had all that power, the richest man that ever lived, could not have seen more naked women in his lifetime, in his existence, than a 10-year-old could scrolling for 5 minutes on the hub. Is that not absolutely insane? That is ludicrous. The how unnatural it is, and think about how much time and how many different people you've seen do the most explicit human act possible, the most explicit sexual act in existence. We don't know what this has done to us. I've probably seen thousands and thousands. And it's scary and sad to admit that. Truly, we don't know what this has done. I think the lust is the silent killer. It's the biggest battle. It's the most harmful, but no one talks about it. This battle against lust and pornography and this industry, it's horrible. We really don't know. We really don't know what it's truly going to look like in 20, 30 years when all of us are growing up. I think you've already seen how it affects how guys think about girls and sexualize girls. And you've seen how for girls, it has become sort of this thing to look up to, and they're becoming more sexualized themselves. It's this horrible cycle. And guys just getting addicted from a very young age. It's so sad. I think it's one of the most sad things, and it's what parents have no idea about, but they really should be protecting their children from. We don't know what it's really doing, man. And I think it really changes something in your brain. And you might be able to see this with other people around you that you know. You know there's some gooners, and it really does change it and make them think differently about women, look differently at people. It makes them socially so awkward and autistic, like it makes you unable to function, I think, correctly as a human and look at other people as just human beings and not like this sexualized object. It really does make you look at women as just objects, as something to be obtained and to just use for your own pleasure. I don't want to keep rambling on too long, but I genuinely think that this is the most dangerous, worst epidemic for young men. But it's just not talked about nearly enough. Get away from it, bro. Get away from it with as hard. I'm not going to go too much into how to get away from it, but I'll go to that in a different video. I just wanted to highlight the problems here, but you can do it. You can get away from this stuff. It does not hold the power over you that you think it does. You can win against less. You can. Don't give up. And as always, never stop improving. You'll be grateful for it later.